Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm using, you know what, I messed up my audio. Maybe we're going to have to mess around with audio today. But, Oh, I know what it is. I'm listening in the microphone. I'm like, it's a little bit more echoey in here. Something's off. I think I know what it is. But let's go look at the charts first before we try and fix things. All right, so we've been in a range all week, really, all of last week. We've had a push down, and they've come back up a little bit. I'm going to be watching here. I think that they're going to be... I think that they're going to be trying to stop people out to the upside. Oh, you know what else? Yes, there we go. I think that they're going to be trying to stop some people out to the upside, but overall, it looks like that people are pretty positive on the equities. So if we come over here to the E-mini, yeah, I mean, it's okay. The consensus view that I've been seeing out there is that earnings are better than expected, and if they continue to come in at this pace, that it should move us up. So that's kind of where we're at. But we still got to be cautious because we are in a range. But this, on a Monday might be the kind of place where they might try and make a move away. All right. Another thing that I want to note, very important, we have about 2,000 at every price on the DOM now. So the liquidity has come back. I really do think there's some possibility of a move today, some range extension of some sort. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's fix this stuff, all right? So this cabinet is open behind me, and I think that that's what I'm hearing echoing. There we go. At least I think it is. It could be something else. I'm also wondering if I... Doesn't the mixer have some way of... let me see here. So I got a new audio card, and I kind of want to be able to hear through the audio card. I wonder if I can do it through here. That's okay. I think I thought that the audio interface itself would be fast enough, and it is pretty fast, but I think that OBS is not fast enough. Uzi says, good morning, Uzi. Oh, my text-to-speech ain't catching it. Oh, I know why. Sound. I need to move this over back to the Yeti. I would like to use a new microphone, but I need to get a stand first, and then I can use a different microphone. Just not it won't be much better than the Yeti, but
YouTube Uzi Knesset regular session open a bit tepid today, eh?
Oh yeah, that was another good point. There was not a whole lot of volume on the open at all, was there? But I would still be a little suspicious. Just a little. I mean, I don't know if anything's going to happen, but this seems like an area that they would want him to make a move. So I'm not... So I did some cleaning of my keyboard, and it seems to have fixed some of my problems, but my period key is still having issues. I wonder if I can get it out. No, it would be too difficult to do it here on my desk. I'd have to probably pull a ton of stuff out. That's disappointing that the period key is still busted. Must be a piece of junk in there. Oh man, that's gonna bother me now. This is all, like, the thing is, it's not just been a slow open. Nothing coming through. Even now, 5 minutes. It's even for a Monday, it's unusually slow. I am maybe getting something here in the 5-year. Donald Trump tweeting, great new book by wonderful and very smart author Dan Bongino exonerated. The failed takedown of President Donald Trump by the swamp. Dan hits all of the crooked points of the greatest witch hunt in political history. Nevertheless, the scam continues. Yes, according to Twitter rules, Mitt Romney's should be banned for his fake Pierre Dialiano account. Have you guys heard about this? Oh my gosh. I am... I don't know how to describe how I feel about this piece of news with Mitt Romney, but let me tell you what happened first. Mitt Romney has a secret Twitter account. And he was saying in an interview, I'm a Twitter lurker. I lurk, but I don't follow Donald Trump.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset.
Yeah, I don't follow Donald Trump because he tweets too often. So reporters started doing some detective work, and they went and they said, well, okay, Mitt Romney would certainly follow all of his kids, right? So they kind of put a bunch of things together, like who follows all of their kids and all of these other things. And they found an account that was suspiciously like, maybe it could be Mitt Romney. And they could even go through and like look at who he was following and what, and it just was all in line with, this would be an account that would be interested in Mitt Romney. Oh, it also followed all of the Mitt Romney imposter accounts, things like this. Anyways, so they write this article up and, suspecting that it's Mitt Romney. And then eventually somebody asked him and he admitted that, yes, it was his account. So Mitt Romney has a secret Twitter account. And in his secret Twitter account, he is like virulently, is that the correct word? I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but he is like super anti-Trump. And oh man, it's kind of like, because he's kind of just been quiet about things and kind of trying to play, because, obviously people in Utah support the president and wouldn't appreciate Donald Trump doing what he does behind the scenes. And he just kind of says, oh, well, I'm just, trying to be a principled person. But it kind of turns out behind the scenes that he's just trying to pull every string that he can to
YouTube,
hurt Donald Trump.
Knesset, lol, high school bullshit, lol.
Yeah, it's like high school nonsense. But man, it's like after this Twitter thing, it's like Mitt Romney is a fraud and there's no denying it anymore. So this is the big thing going on in politics today. But I know it seems like a silly thing, but like that's what people are looking at right now. And it could be interesting to see if there's any fallout from it or not. I think that people in Utah are going to be pissed. I really do. Because he said, oh, I don't have any, when he was running for president, he was, people were concerned, well, we don't want to elect you if you're just there to hurt Donald Trump. And he was like, no, that's of course not. No, we want to work with the president and work with everybody and blah, 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 blah. No. High school, it was completely lying. Completely lying. Anyways, the account, when that happened, the account got protected. I don't know if everybody was able to completely pull down all of its activities. So, meanwhile, the huge media narrative story this morning is civilians in Kurdish areas hurled rotten fruit and insults at a convoy of U.S. military vehicles.
But Romney always had a reputation of being two-faced anyhow.
Exactly. But that was kind of, okay, so this is kind of weird that there's nothing there at 24.5. This is kind of the thing, though, is people here in Utah, I don't think ever believed it. If that makes sense. They were, they completely believed him. They trusted him. I think those of us that were in politics, after he failed to get elected, started to say, well, maybe he is a little two-faced, but we wanted to get our guy in. But then when he started doing the Donald Trump thing, I was like, wow, okay. Like, this is the thing that bothers me so much about him, is that Mitt Romney ran on this platform. I really liked Mitt Romney's platform. They had like a little brochure, and you could read his full platform. It was like a 100-page book that they wrote. But a major part of their platform was standing up to China and finally tackling the issue of trade with China. This was a big part of his platform. And then Donald Trump runs, and he says that he does a speech, and he says, that trying to deal with trade with China is a terrible, bad idea. So it's like, did Mitt Romney believe anything that he had in his platform? Or was he just doing it because that's what his policy advisors told him to do? Or is it now he's saying what he says because that's what his policy advisors told him to do? Or is he saying what he's saying now just because he hates Donald Trump so much that he's that deranged that he's willing to take, contradictory positions and he doesn't even realize it? So it's kind of it's kind of like that. The whole thing is just kind of, man. But when Mitt Romney came up and gave that speech, man, I was done with him. I was like, man, you really were just saying it to get elected. So that's my story. And then I went on the Donald subreddit and I disavowed Mitt Romney because by that point I knew that Donald Trump was going to be president. And I'm a Republican. So I said, well, he's going to win. Let's get our guy in. And we did. For better or for worse. Censure at least corrupt Adam Schiff after what he got caught doing. Any politician who does not so vote cannot be honest. Are you listening, Dems? Oh, people like that tweet. They're already liking it. I don't know if it's worth being in the market at this particular moment just because Donald Trump is on the warpath tweeting. It's only a matter of time before he tweets something about China, right? Tornado in Dallas area, really? Well,
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, CHINER. YouTube, Michael XZ, for Treasuries, what time should we start paying attention each day?
Well, so the Treasuries start at 8:20 Eastern time. So I try to be here by around 8:15, but sometimes I'm late, and I always try to have it on by 8:20. And that's the open. That's the regular session open when they open up the pits at the CME and all those. So that's why you kind of want to be around there, at least at that point. But it's not not uncommon to have a lot of movement the hour before that. So, if you live on the East Coast and you can handle waking up a little earlier, then that I totally would do it. But 8:20 is the time that the Treasury starts and when I start. So, and then you want to pay attention to, the first 2-3 hours. By the time it gets around noon Eastern time, is like the volume. It's a very, very different action after that. I would not recommend trading that kind of time period. With order flow, at least the trades just aren't as good. Apparently, I'm told that it's the same with stocks. So I was watching a little bit of the Warrior Trading Guy because he's
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. It took a bit of tinkering with the order flow profile indicator in NT8 and trading hours templates, but I managed to piece together a really decent template for session profiles.
Yeah, the thing that's so unique about Treasuries is that you've got so many time periods to look at, because there's hour open, and then there's the E-mini open an hour later, and then there's the European session close, and then there's the Treasury options pit close, which is at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And then there is the stock market close, right? And then there is the actual extended session close, where they actually turn the systems off and restart them and everything. So you could set up a session template with a bunch of different time periods, and being able to analyze based on that is, you can tell a lot from that. By the way, now we should load the levels and stuff, huh? There we go. Previous low, really. Is that 24.5? Oh, did I miss this one? I think I did. Yeah. Curious. Very curious. I'm not even seeing, like, the funny thing, I'm not even seeing anything in the spreads. I am seeing something in the knob spread. They appear to be selling knob. They appear to be selling this area. Somebody tried hitting up into that, and there was a bid at 25 placed. Oh yeah. I wanted to go and download Sierra charts and make an account and see if I can get a way to, see if I could find a way to make some of my indicators in Sierra charts. Proceed. Man, I'm still getting the double key presses all over the place. It didn't do a thing. Yeah, they moved down. Big iceberg there at 25.
YouTube, Michael XZ. Time for a new cheap Chinese mechanical keyboard.
Right? Well, it's a Razer Black Widow. I'm wondering if some of the solderings and everything are off or something. Huh. So they're selling it, but yeah, the buyers were trying to hit back there. Well, I would like to sell. It's just I don't necessarily feel comfortable with selling 24.
YouTube, Michael XZ. What I mean is you can get them cheap now, and if you need a new one, just buy another.
Or it could be. Oh my. Well, they're really moving with intention there. That's where they're gonna get out. Yeah. Dum bum bum ba-dum. Seeing that little gap and seeing where we were before and all this sort of stuff, and noticing that I'm not getting any increases in activity levels down in here has me a little
YouTube, Michael
on edge.
XZ. If I'm short, when's a good place to get out on ZN?
Well, that's a good question. So, anytime that there's a backtick like that is an okay place to take it off. So, like 23, that's a possible one. So the way that I look at it is zippers. So you see here in my chart. Now is a zipper in there? If we come in and we form a zipper, that's a potential place to get out. So the fact that they came down to 22.5 and now they were able to get a volume to go into 23.5 means potential profit taking place. Okay, so that's one. Two is if you get 4 ticks. 4 ticks is average range, so 4 ticks is a good spot to take it off if that's how much profit you got. And then number 3 would be any kind of order flow aberration, which we're not receiving yet.
YouTube, Greg Orlovsky, GM More News Junk WH Trade Advisor Kudlow. There is a chance to get the deck. Tariffs on China won't be imposed.
Cool. There's a couple of economic advisors out on the news because Lighthizer was speaking as well. So I don't know if I was short the 25.5. Is that where it would have been from? Yeah, if I was short the 25.5, I think I would be thinking about taking it off. It'd be a little tepid. I mean, the thing is if they are going to move it today, because we're saying I wouldn't discount that they try and break this range today, then there could be more. But for me, it also depends on what kind of time frame that you want to take, right? For me, if here we had an 8-tick swing down, if we get like a 4-tick swing back up, then that means to me that I should have gotten out down there, because I only want to catch one swing. If somehow I'm really confident and it comes back and I have a lot of profit baked in, and then maybe I will take 2 or 3 swings, and that's when I'll end up getting a 16-tick winner.
YouTube, Michael XZ got in 25.75.
0.75. Probably you mean 25.5. The 255 in the 10-year. Now, another thing we should note is that they stuck a big ol' offer at 25. So, they might get them to tick back up a little bit, but I don't think that they will get too far. Like if I could get
YouTube,
out
Michael
right
XC. Yeah, it is an average of 2 positions.
There you go. Yeah. So you actually got 25.5 and 26. Good job. See, if you were able to get 26 out of that, that was kind of ballsy. So you look at the zipper and it's like, well, most of you are going to be able to get in at 25.5. Anybody that got short at 26 got lucky, because not everybody that was willing to sell at 26 would have gotten filled, right? Okay, so now I did get an aberration in the 5-year, which suggests, for me, I would want to be getting out. Yeah, probably just right there. That's my strategy, would say get out right now. 5 ticks. Level 2 aberration in the 5-year. And in the 10-year, in fact. I'm going to try it this one long. Now, do not like the way that happened there. Okay. The big iceberg there, 23 as well. It's actually, so there's quite a few things here telling me possible reversal. So much so that I'm actually a little suspicious about it now.
YouTube, Michael XZ, is there any reason I need to have ZT up on screen if I have ZB, ZN, and ZF already?
I wouldn't say that it's necessary. I mean, if you have room and everything, then I would say why not. ZT definitely can do some interesting things sometimes. But if I have ZT up, then I would want to be looking at it like, okay, if I have a move, was there actually associated movement in ZT or not? Because when you see activity in ZT, then they all really move. But you're going to get enough of a read from the main three to, you don't have to have ZT. Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit of there is a little bit of activity on the insides. They tried buying back up there. I didn't make it. It's a 5-year. There. That's curious. Okay, somebody really wants to sell that. They were able to make you go bid, though. Because this is counter trend, I'm not necessarily looking for much. Okay. 5-year takes it off again. They're fighting it a little bit. Nobody's putting bid or offer at 28.5. That's odd. Okay. Somebody put a pretty big stack there at 23. That was 1,000 lot that they stuck there at 23. Oof, my back popped really hard there. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably not a pleasant sound. Felt good though. All felt so good, guys. 800. Okay. Into 23.5. Okay. So when they ticked up, they pulled the 23 and they bid a little bit more at 23.5, but they sold that. So that's interesting. The 5-year has it sitting there at 28.75. If that 28.75 is able to hold a bid, then we might get a real pullback. Okay. I'm kind of doing this thing though where they don't put anything on the inside. Like 34 there, 28.75. That's interesting. So there was a little, the liquidity here at 24.5 and 25 is actually stacking up. Okay. 28 3/4 is able to hold a bid now. They're going to flip it now. Flip the inside so that the 28 3/4 has more on it than the 29. There you go. It happened because the 29 pulled a little bit, though. I don't know if that's though. I don't know if it matters whether or not they did, but it's interesting that that's why, not because the 28 3/4 stacked up to 500. Now that they're pulling, though, they may do it. They may stack there. They're awfully close. Okay, there's 500. $30-year looks really, really quiet in particular. Barely any changes over there. These ones, there's changes, but mostly just on the inside. Okay, there's a good 23.5 over 1,000.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, tell me about it, lol.
Yeah, I bet the 30-year is a little frustrating right now, huh? Now they're going to do the same game at 29, huh?
YouTube, Uzi Knesset almost tricked me into selling a break of 10.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that would have been no fun. Well, remember when we were down here, I took a sell at 23 and then I immediately said, nope, that's not right. And took it off. Okay, 29 goes, they've cleared the offer at 29, but nobody's putting a bid up. Okay. Goes in the 10-year. That 24.5 is not pulling at all. 5 went into it, though. Ooh, it pulled. Thank you.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, I would think no one piling in to sell that break is a good sign for longs.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the way that they took that 24.5 there was a little interesting. Because there was like 2,400 stacked on there, and it completely pulled. And I say, it depends on how you read it. Man, my room is really echoey today. I don't know what the deal is. I guess it's just because I changed the microphone. It doesn't sound any different to you guys, though, does it? You would have said something. Anyways, I say that 24 half offer was there because somebody wanted to try and hold it there. They said, oh, the trend is down. We're going to stack some liquidity here. If they come back up, we're more than happy to take it. Instead, it all pulled, and they were able to make it go bid with only 600. So I took what I wanted because was looking for 3 to 4 on that pullback based on that I was counter trend and everything. But that pull in particular could be a sign that they're going to want to push up higher. I would still be really caught. Like if I hadn't have gotten filled there, I think I would still be sitting with my offer at 24 half and sweating a little bit. Because they're going to need to make this go offer and then see a pull at 25. Or a really big collision and just plow through it. But this is still going to be a spot that it's going to be hard for the bulls to get through. Perhaps if the E-mini decided to come back. I mean, the E-mini right now at 3,000 actually kind of looks like an okay short. So where do you get the actual download? Oh, maybe I need to... Oh, crap. I think I screwed up here. Well, there's an iceberg at 24. That's curious. Okay. There we go. Kedlow spikes SPOOs above 3,000. Says December tariffs could be taken if China talks go well. That's why the SPOOs went up, huh? Is that what I should start calling it, guys? What do you think? I'm always saying E-mini. Maybe I should say SPOOs. That seems like more hip to me. That's an interesting one. Nobel Prize winning economist Robert Shiller believes a recession may be years away due to a bullish Trump effect in the market. Yeah. You know what? Maybe he does have something there. It does kind of seem to me that because of the kind of person that Donald Trump is and the way that he plays media and the way that he's always kind of positive and bullish and take risk and let's make money sort of a thing, that it causes other people to want to be like that. I think maybe it makes me be like that. I'm constantly these days like thinking about getting my hustle on. They made it go bid, but there's still some iceberging there. Like at any time we're doing something, like we're looking for baby stuff, and I'm like, how can I make having a child into a profitable venture? Do some like mommy blogging, review baby products. I think we could do something with this,
YouTube, Dojo, I heard that the first big S&P contract was September, hence SPU and the name stuck.
Oh, really? Is it really? Oh, that totally makes I wonder if we
YouTube
can
Dojo
control.
Pit contract.
I wonder if we can confirm that. I totally get what you're saying though, because the retail, us retail guys, I think most people call it the E-mini, or I say the equities, but SPOOS is probably a better name. SPOOS is probably a better name. Okay, let's see here.
YouTube Uzi Knesset SPOOS sounds sexual lol.
SPOOS sounds. That's what I'm gonna say next time, right? If the next time it's I'm not gonna say it's the SPOOS. I'm gonna say the E-mini just spoozed all over the place.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. Yeah, you get it. YouTube Uzi Knesset. Grinning squinting face.
Okay. Wait, did I get that right? Yes, I got that right. Okay. Well, they're still sitting there having trouble with 24.5. Here's the thing. That 24.5 was definitely like exactly where I was thinking, hey, if we get a pullback, four tick pullback 24.5. And clearly there was all of the liquidity and volume placed there and stuff, and so, okay. Now we're back up there. There's an iceberg there at 24.5. But 5,000 have been willing to buy it too. So I don't know. I'm kind of sitting here wondering, where do you get 5,500 people to buy 24.5? I mean, that move down wasn't that.
Uzi Knesset. I don't know why, but setting the profile summary unit in NT8 to currency and viewing ranges in terms of their dollar value has made range estimation a bit easier.
That's kind of interesting. So you do that with treasuries? Saying like, I go duplicate new window. And I say, how would you do that? Setting the profile summary unit. So that means over here on this chart. Duplicating new window.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. Current regular session range value in ZB is $312.50. Typical over the last few days is about $850.
Oh, really?
YouTube Uzi Knesset. Go into order flow profile indicator settings, all the way at the bottom.
On the way at the bottom. Show font. Value area. resolution. Standard, that's not what I want. Profile type, price. Draw mode, letters. Oh, yeah. So if I just based off of that, what do we get? Okay. That's interesting. Oh, so you're saying doing it on a price time opportunity chart instead of a volume profile chart is what you're getting at.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, is that the order flow plus indicator? Cause at the bottom of that one there's an option for summary price unit.
Yeah, order flow. Well, it's the order flow
YouTube
volume
Uzi
profile.
Knesset, na volume profile charts.
Summary price unit. Okay. So maybe I need to show profile summary first. Yep. Okay. So, and do it by price. And then that's where you're getting 381 and 850. So you're saying what is the what was the dollar value of that move? I like that.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, there ya go. Sorry, forgot to mention that mine's on by default, lol.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go in and I'm going to turn it on. Which one? This one. Sessions. You have to click show profile summary first, and then that shows up. What does show volume labels do? Oh. Show volume labels is annoying. Okay, so they finally ticked back down into 23.5. I don't know. So they definitely gave us like a reversal signal there at 24.5.
Uzi Knesset, well, that's by RTH range. Average RTH session range value over the last few days is about $850 to $875.
Yeah, see, I'm showing the whole extended session too, so it's going to be a little bit more. Then I get like 1379. Okay, so what's this other thing going on? Somebody wanted me to look into a product.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, I noticed that ETH sessions are usually much wider. Probably because of the relatively low volume.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's more than that, Uzi. Although it could be changing, but I think, how many on the way up? If you go back and you look at on the way up, a lot of those really big pushes happened in the extended session. I think that what happened was we got this divergent Federal Reserve policy between Europe and the United States, and the Europeans started doing the spread trade and were buying U.S. Treasuries, and so the push by the markets to get us up to where we are rather, is largely due to Europeans. That's another thing was, remember how it was always happening at the end / beginning of the month? So it was the time period where the banks needed the cash and everybody was buying it, and that's where we were pushing up to new highs. So it's the Europeans. Now the Europeans are out. They don't have a reason to come in and take that spread anymore. That's why we came down. But now the only thing that really matters is just readjusting to what the Federal Reserve is actually going to do to rates. And we're kind of in an uncertain area like for that, which is probably why we're just stuck here in this range. But so that's why the extended session be so much higher. So I remember when I first came in, you never had to worry about it. Like the extended session usually wasn't that big of a deal. And then all of a sudden it turned into like, oh, I always felt like I was missing it, you know? Always felt like I was missing all the fun because I wasn't staying up all night. So yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
YouTube Uzi Knesset for real. YouTube Uzi Knesset, that's exactly it.
Now the big question in my head is how much of the liquidity was only coming from the Europeans and that spread? Yeah. Because my understanding is that to have, 2,000 to 3,000 is pretty common. And when I look at some of the older
YouTube
videos,
Uzi Knesset, seems we could make a real decent living under these conditions just trading IB breaks, to be honest.
think so. By the way, you mean like the extended sessions initial balance? Oops. Which, by the way, was, what was the initial balance? 1/2.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, trade the first one overnight, make a few hundo, call it a night. YouTube Uzi Knesset, yeah.
That's interesting. So you're saying you just wait for the opening range, and then when it goes below 1/2, you sell it short. Wake up the next morning, it'll be down here. I've seen some people suggest trades where if you're able to, swing.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, pretty much.
That that's exactly what you do is you come in and you watch the initial drive, and then based on the initial drive, you take it short, and you take it with like a full point. You're looking for a full point or something like that, and then you're done. And I remember it was like a video. This guy was explaining this trade that he would do, and he was given like a straight up like a specific trade. He didn't give any probabilities or statistics about it or anything like that. So I don't know how, if it was the real deal or not, but that was the trade that he suggested in a video. And I've kind of noticed over the years, point in ZB. Yeah. Totally. That's about what you're going to get.
YouTube Uzi Knesset, I've never divided the dataset up by sessions. It's interesting. NT8 actually has a price marker in ZB at 59.17 for the RTH open lol.
Yes, 159.17. So do you see it on my charts? The one that I use. I got this one from Lizard Indicators. It's like AMA opening range or whatever, and you come into the indicators. Here it is. AMA opening range. Lizardindicators.com is where you can get it. It's free. And you can come in here and you can select what the opening range is, and you can select what the pre-session is, and you can set like a custom period for it if you want. So you can kind of have it all divvied up. And so how did I do it? Oh, I have a separate thing. So this one just shows me what is the opening range for the regular session, right? So there's your opening range for the regular session. So and that one matters too. I found if we break 22.5 or we get above 26.5, probably we will get a bit of squeezing. I don't know if there's like been a ton of positions taken through here, but whatever. But then the regular session open, that number that you just specified, 159.17, so important. I've found, like, if we come back up to that price, that 26, there's going to be some absorption there.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I even went in so far as to overlay 2 extra ZB datasets on the session chart so I can have it draw a candle for each session next to its profile, since the profile doesn't draw the open and close.
That's interesting. You have to show me a picture of your chart, I guess, because that's kind of hard to picture in my head. Well, we've been here for a long time, man. Somebody wanted me to take a look at this edgewonk thing. It's edgewonk.com. And it looks interesting, but I don't have... It doesn't...
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Bring it up on screen.
Bring what? The chart up on screen? Well, here, I'll make a new... I'll make a new ZN window that we can mess around with, and then if I like it, then once it's like, then we can do it. I mean this. Do it like that.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Did the link not show up?
Oh no, the link did not show up. Do it on the put it in the Discord. Can you put it in the Discord? That's really the best way to do things. You just go into Discord. I don't even think, well, I think since they were saying they were changing things, but I think you can just create like a temporary account. But it's better to, just put your email in and everything. And then if you say something in the interest rates channel.
YouTube, Michael XZ. Will there be a Brexit vote today, or was that done already?
That's a good question. And I don't know the answer to. I think they were saying, well, I don't think that it's like, for sure. Well, so let me just look in here. I don't know about that. I do know that there was another vote, right? Okay. The problem with the European stuff is that the time that things happen tends to be super amorphous. So I think if it starts happening, that we'll probably see some stuff from the squawks, but for the time being, I'm not too sure that it's like a super huge deal or not. Oh, they did actually get some to go into 24. Oh, you know what I need to do? This right here. Show price markers. No, thank you. Much better. Yeah, so if you do post a link on YouTube, I think you have to put like a space between the periods so that it doesn't become a clickable link. And then you'd be allowed to.
YouTube Winstanzamom PSSTT Seth, today is October 21st. Sexy robot voice, say, day traders, Q, why did God create stock analysts? In order to make weather forecasters look good.
Oh, ouch. No. What was that? Was that my... Oh. I think that was actually my stream. Like, come back here to the control room. No.
YouTube Uzi Knesset Snipboard. I.O. Yekelf JPG. YouTube Uzi Knesset, that work?
Yeah, that worked. I see that one. Okay, so here's the 21st. 21. It says we're live. I wonder if I come back here to YouTube.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. I am sorry, I am not a Discord fan lol.
No.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. There ya go, take out spaces around dots.
I love Discord, man. I find it so useful. And that's a really great way to talk when I'm not streaming. Ah, okay. Oh, I see.
YouTube Sergio Ortega, morning. Hi everyone.
Hello, Sergio. So you're saying you've got the extended and the regular session, and then you got it split out how much that was and how much that was. And you're showing, what is that? Is that the total volume that occurred at each price? It must, probably is. No, it'd have to be more than that. Because we had some of those days where there was
YouTube,
like 5K
Uzi
icebergs at
Knesset,
spots. That doesn't seem right to me. I think some of those numbers should be way higher. Like today, or 25 half says that there's been 48,000. It's kind of weird.
YouTube Uzi Knesset. I run the EV session from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8:20 a.m. Est the next day and RTH from 820 to 5 Est.
That's not, doesn't seem right to me. So if I come in here and I say show volume labels. Yeah. So if I show volume labels, I get the point of control. Oh, but you're looking at ZB. Ah, that's what it is. Okay. So it probably is right. I'm silly.
YouTube Winstanzamom Speculatorsith. I found an astrologer online who uses a natal chart of each E-mini to predict their future.
What? That's funny. You know what? So when I was first in trading, well, it wasn't first in trading. I had been doing it for a while, like you know, on sim and stocks. And I was working for Goldman Sachs, but there was like right next to the Goldman Sachs building, there's a stockbroker in downtown Salt Lake City. And so one day I decided to just go in and see if there was anybody to talk to. And it was like a week where we were like incredibly range bound. And so I figured, hey, you know, maybe somebody'd be willing to talk.
Interesting, Uzi. You always have some gold nuggets to share.
And
YouTube Winstanzamom. This is an example.
Yeah.
First, the micro E-minis are launching less than 24 hours after the new moon in Taurus, A in chart 1. The new moon is always a great time for new beginnings.
Yeah.
YouTube, Winstanzamam, Taurus is the sign ruled by money planet Venus. Taurus also represents that the launch focuses on providing solid, stable contracts.
So anyways, I went in and there was this guy that I talked to. It was this Asian guy, Japanese.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I did notice that when you turn the volume labels on in NT8, some of them are off by a tiny bit. I don't think that's user error. The general picture is accurate, but the numbers can be a little off.
Yeah, that has to do with the way that because you don't have to have tick replay to get that to work, and that's how they're able to make it so fast. So they're a little off. It has to do with how they estimate things without using inter tick data. Anyways, I met this guy
YouTube, Winstanzamam, Lucas, lol. I try to share this wealth because I am always digging up far too many little nuggets of gold that I want to share, lol.
Right. You think that they're gonna move up here? Yeah, we've been here for a really long time though, haven't we? Okay, anyways, my story. I met this guy in this brokerage, and he was like in his 60s. He was from Japan, and he actually traded the Japanese stock market in the 80s when it was like roaring. That was
YouTube,
like his
Lucas, by the
his
way,
time.
guys, no kidding. Tell our story, Seth.
That was like his time. That's when he became like a big stock guy, and then he moved over here, and now they basically handle large accounts for prominent Utahns, do the trading that way. And he he was talking about technical analysis. Yeah, and I was like, well, on larger time frames it can work, which I think is actually true. On larger time frames, technical analysis can be a really useful tool, because you can't. It's really hard to manipulate a stock for a long period of time, right? And he was like, here, let me show you my charts. So he goes into his desk and he pulls this thing out, and he says that he hasn't touched it in like a decade or whatever. And this was like before computers, so he had like graph paper, and it was like all folded up, and when the stock went higher, there'd be like one piece would be here, and then another piece would be like right here, and then it was all folded up in some funky way to be able to get it to all be in one. But it was like when you actually folded it out, it was like this huge thing that could take up like a whole wall. And he would literally go in and he would mark on this graph paper the numbers from that stock, from like the open, high, low, close values for years. And he would go in and do it every day. So it was this hand-drawn chart. And then on the chart, he would have spots where like the new moon was. And so he took trades based on lunar cycles, and he showed me the best trade that he ever did. It was an entry on a new moon, and he made money off of it. But then he said that like it worked at the time, but then people proved that it didn't work, and I stopped doing it. But it was super interesting. It used to be a really big thing. I do have to say, though, I do think there is maybe one thing to it, and
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I remember at Forex Factory, there's a huge thread of planetary cycles traders.
Right? There's still people that do it, and there's a book that's really popular. I do think, have you ever noticed there tends to be days, and I don't know if there's any like way to key on what the day is, but it changes from year to year, and it's often based on when the holidays are going to be. But you'll have a day. There will be a day sometime in your future that's significant. It's like a due date, like when you're in school, all of your papers are due that day. Did you ever get that when you were in school? All the classes would put in some super big end of the term paper that you had to be due that was like half of your grade, and they were all due on the same day, or that was when all of the tests were.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I tried to look into it during my Grail Quest days years ago, but could never wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me either. Anyways, I have found that when you have days like that the market kind of respects them too. It's like the market will be stuck in its mode until that day is done, and then the paradigm shift will happen. Like the date will come or the holiday will come or whatever, and then after that, the market changes. That's kind of interesting, and people's lives change. It's like society just kind of all kind of syncs up to this new thing, and then that thing is passed, and then everybody says, okay, now I can go and do that thing that I've been waiting to do, or whatever it is. So maybe there is something to it. Maybe at one time everybody's dates were synced up to lunar cycles instead, and then that happened. But now they're not anymore, and maybe it doesn't happen because, things changed or something. Although I suspect, though, that probably there was never actually any edge to planetary cycles. I'd have to see some statistics showing that there was some statistical edge in it.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset, horizontal lines are easier lol.
Right.
YouTube, Winstanzamam, pattern recognition. Synchronicity. Have you listened to any binaural beats or the vibrations from 432 Hz to the Tesla frequency numbers? The planets wobble and science say the stars are not in the sky.
So I've seen those things where they say that certain frequencies are gonna. I don't know if there's actually anything to it. I would, I would really like to see some scientific evidence that it does. Seems to me.
Dojo, ever heard of cycle brackets?
No. Well, is that where like you'll have a cycle and the market will be bracketed within that time period or something? That's kind of what it sounds like just from your description. But I've never heard the term before. Yeah, I do think like lower frequencies tend to affect people in different ways. It's kind of weird, but we find low frequencies pleasant to a certain extent. We can also find them unsettling to a certain extent, because if they're too low and too loud, that's not natural.
YouTube, Winstanzamam. What I mean when I say the planets wobble is Google Neil deGrasse Tyson, who explains the night sky we see versus the night sky Plato would have seen.
Yeah, right. But what does that have to do with 432 hertz? See, I don't think there's anything special about. Or are they saying that if you listen to stuff at 432 hertz, that it has some sort of special health benefit or something like that? Because that sounds silly. That sounds silly to me. So I set up that thing where, it would, we streamed today, and it didn't seem to do anything different when I went live.
Michael XC, you can just listen to them on YouTube. These beats, with headphones, can do things like make you more alert and help you wake up or go to sleep. It's great for concentration.
Yeah. But that's where I'm saying but what I would want to know is proof that it's the specific frequency.
It is said to be the natural frequency of the universe, to have cosmic healing powers, and to attract masses of audience to our music.
The special frequency of the universe, 432 hertz. The 432 hertz isn't even really all that low, is it? That's kind of more like a... Well, they're hitting into 25 again.
YouTube, Dojo, cycle brackets are based off of previous areas where the market bounced. They mark 2 or more lows, and the brackets project out dates where the market is likely to turn again.
All right. It kind of sounds to me like the Nicholas Darvis style of trading, right? Because his whole thing was basically, when you look at a daily chart, you could consider a bracket like, if we were to use this chart.
YouTube, Michael XZ, just try the ones that work for you. Some work better than others. They have music in the background of Al out of them, so it's pleasant. Even one with Mozart was good.
Then they say here's a bracket and here's a bracket, and he had ways.
Knesset, at Dojo, I think I've seen that before. Charts with like half circles on the bottom axis.
he had ways of determining charts that he knew were going to move to a new bracket. Like he knew if it was going up, he knew that because this one was, on 52-week highs and it was at the lower end of its bracket, that it was a good buy there and that sort of a thing.
YouTube, Dojo, at Uzi Knesset. Yes, that's them.
Yes. Charts with like half circles on the bottom axis. Oh, that came down fast. Some news here. Tweet.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. Ah, right on. Yeah, I've seen that.
For the Nicholas Darvis thing, that's the book. It's called How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. Famous book. Okay, so that was interesting. The whole thing was like, okay, so we made it push down. Here's the pullback, but then there was way too much volume traded there for me to be able to actually know, because it was like, if they came up and there was a spike and then there was like no interest, then I would know for sure. You know what? Nobody's really interested in buying this, and we'll probably move down. This one though, there was a spike and they came back only 2, and then we were still back up in here, and it just didn't do anything until that rush of buying came in the E-mini, and it spiked us down. So that kind of would, I think, indicate that there's a good chance we could move lower. But order flow wise, it doesn't tell us a whole lot, because the E-mini is the one that's driving us. Ergo, if we were to take a trade, it probably would be a better trade to just buy the E-mini here in a spot instead of trying to play the Treasury, because probably what would happen in the Treasury is we'll say, oh, it's going to break, and we'll sell it at 22.5, and then it won't go anywhere.
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. The E-mini is a crappy driver.
Yeah.
He makes me sick sometimes.
Well, it's a bad driver for us because the order flow in the 10-year is not dependent on what happens in the E-mini, right? And when too many people see the correlation and start trying to trade the correlation, then there's nothing to move your contract. Everybody's trying to trade the E-mini. They're all short because the E-mini had a spike up there. Then who over here in the 10-year is going to sell it down further? And if there's not like institutional people out there, already trying to move it anyways, then who's going to actually sell it? And so then you can get these counter moves where it's like the E-mini keeps moving up, but then the Treasury doesn't do anything. It just people just kind of rotate in and out on that one price because they can't get anything out of it. It's frustrating. It's just like that uptick. Or then you get this other thing, which is like, okay, they sold it because the E-mini moved up, and then the E-mini barely even takes 8 ticks back down, and we're already up 2 ticks. Honestly, for a Monday, for me to take 1 3-tick trade, and that I could be okay with that. I don't know. Here in the 10-year today, it looks to me like that the big institutions did not come in and try and make a push, and that there's too many people looking to short it today, and that they can't get it. There's not enough imbalance. Like goes down, everybody's short, and then it comes back up
YouTube,
because they're all getting out.
Today a holiday or something?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that the amount of volume and movement we've had is not unusual for a Monday, is it?
YouTube, Uzi Knesset. I was just peeking at stock portfolio and nothing has moved.
I got the wrong week. Nothing has moved in the first 15 minutes. That's interesting. Well, we don't really have... Oh, actually, no, that's not this week. This week. There we go. Okay, so Monday, it's a federal election in
YouTube,
Canada.
Michael XZ, Brexit.
Ooh, yeah, federal election in Canada might have some impact. The Brexit thing could certainly have some impact. So here's my understanding of the Brexit thing, is they were supposed to have a vote on Sunday on the deal, but then before that happened, they had a vote to prevent a no-deal Brexit instead, and that passed. So now they're going to have another vote to vote on the no-deal Brexit thing, so that then they can try and have the vote on the deal. And supposedly,
YouTube, Michael XZ, wait and see. YouTube, Winstanzamam, far the more important, said Kit Jux, global macro strategist at Societe Generale, in an October 16th note. YouTube, Winstanzamam, Market Watch, the two dominant geopolitical stories, Brexit and US-Chinese trade, are still driving markets. Of the two, the US move away from free trade as buy.
That move down there was that move was weird. So
YouTube, Winstanzamam, sexy robot voice read those comments upside down.
yeah, it received the messages backwards, unfortunately.
YouTube, Winstanzamam, sexy robot voice moonlights. I have heard her on other channels.
I need to switch the robot over to just reading directly in YouTube instead of trying to pull it through Discord. But when I tried doing that, it didn't give me enough requests to make it through the day. But when I looked at the number of requests that I sent through the Google dashboard for that they provide for that sort of a thing, it made way more requests than it should have, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was like going into their framework code to figure out how they were doing it, and I just couldn't figure out what the deal was. Okay, so they're possibly testing this order at 24. I don't know, that whole thing there with those two ticks down could have been shenanigans. But like they were hitting into it and he's not pulling away. But people aren't selling into it either. See, that's moving now. You could probably sell it. He disappeared. That was interesting. And where was the stuff happening at? 23.5. So he stacked and pulled it a ton times and then nothing. So it might have been, well, was that like he didn't get enough people to sell it, so he did it again and then but there's not that many that absorbed down here at 23.5, so it doesn't really make sense to me. A 5-year appears like high liquidity on both sides. So there's an uptick. Okay.
YouTube, Winstan's mom, Seth,
That's
my
not
husband's
good.
cousin, Andy teaches at BYU.
Oh, that's
He is a professor
interesting.
of literature, we think. I
We
know
think.
he publishes and writes poetry. He is closer to our age than yours, of course.
It's kind of interesting that BYU, like when you look at what their school does well, it's actually the liberal arts tend to be the better than the liberal arts at the University of Utah. You know, like writing and stuff. That is not what I wanted to see, guys. A tick up and a 3K iceberg at 23.5. The E-mini is spooing. Let's hold it down a decent clip. See him sitting here like, that would be nice. Could have had it, it could have been out already, but then, you know, it keeps doing that. So then I'm like, well, if I put it there again, are they actually going to hit it again? Yeah, uptick in the 5-year? No, what was that? That was a stack at 23.5. Well, the story on CNBC is still stocks rise as earnings optimism lifts Wall Street sentiment. May get lucky here. There's some big stuff down at 17. That's probably been there for a long time, though. That's probably been there for weeks.
YouTube, Winstan's mom, lunar fast. Several studies found a connection between full and new moons and stock market performance. Generally, stocks tend to perform better in the days around the new moon.
I would have to
YouTube,
see
Winstan's
this.
mom,
The
3 days
specific
before a new moon,
statistics.
typically an 8th or 9th lunar month in the Chinese lunar calendar, equals September or October.
But the kind
YouTube,
of
Winstan's mom, while price weakness is more frequently seen in the days around full moon. It was also observed that major market crashes have a history of happening about
3 days before a new moon. That could be, but that's like that could be a fooled by randomness kind of thing. So Nicholas Talebi's his famous book is Fooled by Randomness, and he points out how humans have a tendency to try and see patterns in places where there's not really a pattern. Well, I can't make heads or tails of this. Only that the
YouTube Winstanzamom heuristic availability.
Heuristic availability. Well, like a really good example is they did this study where they did a meta-analysis of how when a study reported a finding, what was the statistical significance of the finding, and then they did some kind of data backtesting on it, and they showed that a lot of those findings could just be random. And so they were finding that something like 80% of the studies that they looked at might be complete bunk. That can squeeze me. I really should have taken it at the 23.5, man. They played me like a fiddle. They came down, they did it again. So I said, okay, fine, it is gonna go. And so then 23.5 is where I sold, and then they decided to pull back up. And now not a ton selling in the 24.
YouTube Winstanzamom today is a last quarter moon.
Yeah. I personally, I mean, especially to what we do, doesn't matter. Especially to what we do. Okay. Could have been worse.
YouTube Winstanzamom I8 watching now. Please hit like.
18, yeah. We've been getting a little bit more viewership lately. It's just kind of that time of year, though. We actually had a really good number of people viewing like the first quarter of this year. I was looking at the stats. But then, yeah, summer comes along and a lot of people disappear, and then, yeah, some of them disappear for good and some of them come back. And that's the way of things. It's kind of like you take a vacation and then you're like, well, I like sleeping in too much. And I wasn't making money off of that stock trading thing anyways. So then they stop. Bid 8. Oh, way back there. Well, I'm a little surprised that they didn't squeeze them out up here at the top.
YouTube Winstanzamom like a vacation to the Doral? What did you think of that public relations oopsie? We have stayed there many years and it was nice, small and quiet.
Heard about that. Haven't heard of that. We are expecting UK Speaker Burkow to make a statement at 3:30 p.m. London time as to whether to allow a vote on Prime Minister Johnson's Brexit deal. General consensus is that he will deny Prime Minister Johnson the right to have the vote. Now, the thing here is, this one is a little sketchy for the trade though, right? Because if they don't allow his, like, there's a greater chance of no Brexit at all if they don't vote on this deal, or they vote it down. Because then you get this situation where, like, I guess they're not allowed to Brexit.
The president announced the G7 would be held at his Doral and there were objections.
Oh, that,
he has since changed his mind and may change his Mulvaney.
I don't know. You know what? They would say it was a public relations problem. I don't know. There was a lot of Democrats that were saying that they thought that it was all a distraction, like that he had no intention of ever doing it there. And in terms of like emoluments, you know, you keep in mind that liberals are triggered by this thing because they think that he's using the presidency to make money. I don't know if they have a good case for that or not, but with his one, I mean, if they did it for free, then I don't know if that counts as an emoluments sort of a thing. But so, like, they all freak out about it. Okay, cool. He gets more publicity, and then he says, "Okay, well, fine, I won't do it." That like looks good to all of his supporters, because all of his supporters are thinking they're not, you know, those liberals, they ruin everything. They could have had a really good conference there for free, but now they're gonna have to go somewhere else and pay a ton of money and stuff. You know, I kind of just ignore those kind of ones. Like, it's just really pointless partisan stuff, you know. Well, the E-mini sure is selling. I really didn't like that I got trapped in that trade because, you know, when I started seeing the iceberging at 23.5, then I was like, I might have possibly have bought that, you know. So it's unfortunate, but we didn't take too big of a hit from it. So now we're here at 26.5. There hasn't been nearly enough volume up here. They could keep going. I think that though that it's still the E-mini being a driver. Like, the E-mini is going lower, but even if they come back down to like this midpoint 29.93 for instance, they're still in okay shape to possibly push higher again. So we might be looking for a spot to go short in the 10-year. If they overextend, then you could get a good short. But 759. But I that was a bad trade for sure. I mean, like, well, I don't know if it was a bad trade per se. Like, I think that I think maybe taking that there in some circumstances would have been good, but you know, I should have gotten out of it much earlier. As soon as I saw the iceberg, I should have tried, you know, maybe I should have just gotten out of that, but then I would have gotten the same thing that I did. So I should have tried putting the bid out there for -1, and it's still pushing there. Are they going to reload at 26.5?
YouTube, Winstanzamom, the Sun Conyers are awoke.
Right. Man, that one has been so loud lately, too. The younger one. Man. I think that what's happening is the older bird is like wasting all of the food. Like you put food in the thing and he gets so happy and then he like dumps it everywhere. And so then the other bird doesn't have any food. And so then he squawks at us because he knows that we'll put food in there. Well, the humany coming back there.
YouTube, Winstanzamom, Seth, it would be very interesting to video and chart their talking ability as they listen to your new baby when he arrives. The three of them can learn to talk together.
Sun Conyers really aren't the best talkers. They could be talking and you might not even realize that they're talking because their voice is just so screechy and two-toned. They've got like and that's it. Like it could go higher, but for a level break to happen, they would have already hit it. As it stands right now, if they do end up buying it at 27, they might just go through it. And I noticed, by the way, that that the mini comes back up, but the Treasuries don't respond to it at all. So
YouTube, Winstanzamom, tape their voices and experiment with the playback speeds.
there you go.
And Dr. Dolittle will be in theaters soon. Robert Downey Jr., sigh, he can dance, and
Oh,
sing.
that's right. Yeah. So they did downtick then, didn't they? Because it was 27. They're certainly trading a lot more volume up here than they did down there. Oh, now it's doing the thing. I don't know if you can take that one short or not. He's trying to push it. Okay. Like it's high enough here, they do the push. They could break it, but it seems like they're having a really hard time coaxing people into doing it. Pierre Delecto, also known as Senator Mitt Romney, set his Twitter account to private Sunday night. Hope that people caught all of his tweets and stuff. Well, I do think that they're going to eventually tick
YouTube
up
Dojo
27.
futures
But
options for a mini is pricing in plus 10 points for the day.
really? Like that they're going to make it to 3010? I do find the selling in the E-mini a little weird. The Treasuries moving up too is a little, but their Treasuries might be moving up because of Brexit stuff, you know? Okay, there they finally did
YouTube
make it up.
Dojo plus or minus.
Plus or minus, I got you. Yeah, look at that.
YouTube Dojo, a measure of volatility.
Yeah, I got you. See, they're still having trouble getting people to buy it. Super odd. But Spoo's still spoozing. Still down. Okay, so there's 2 ticks.
YouTube Winstanzamam Federal Reserve Gov today 4:15 p.m. H.10 foreign exchange rates 4:15 p.m. H.15 selected interest rates.
312. Look at this spot here in the 5-year. This time I'm trying to be patient and watch. I'm not going to catch any of it. Should I hit 26.5? Nope. That ain't right. Brexit. UK Parliamentary Treasury Committee Chair says failure of government to provide economic analysis of Johnson Brexit deal is deeply concerning. Well, it's interesting that there was only like 2 in that trade. Now you could try selling 26.5, but I don't know which probability is there. 5-year kind of looks like it's playing games with people. They're doing it again.
YouTube, Lucas, I think the trade could be valid, only problem it's late for us.
Still got about 20 minutes. Notice though that they're trying to push it again. It's on the upside. They're trying to push it again. The December Fed pause is coming, says MUFG. The last 3 times S&P 500 earnings growth turned negative following an inverted yield curve. And they list all the times
YouTube,
that there was
Winstanzamam, barchart.com, Murali Sarma, Trade
several
Guidance,
times.
LLC, Monday, October 21st, 5:36 a.m. CDT MNS are showing some resilience despite studies suggesting recession in the European Union, slowdown in Chinese growth.
Yeah, I don't know if the market is too concerned about those numbers because they think that the numbers are due to, the political instability. And if this political
YouTube,
instability
Winstanzamam, and
resolves,
the cream of that crop reports this week and next week. YouTube, Winstanzamam, that 129 of the top 500 global companies are in China, beating the US, which has 121 now. Attribute this resilience to the stronger than expected earnings by American corporations.
yeah, that's what I thought. See, now they're reaching here at 27. They're having a hard time with it. People appear to be fading it. Romney thought he was so smart no one would ever discover that Pierre Delecto was his secret account that spent all day bashing Trump supporters and defending Mitt Romney. This is the vainglorious snit our ruling class says should really be president.
Twitch, Null Monkey Zero, yo yo yo, and the ho ho ho.
Oh, hey, Null Monkey. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot that we were gonna stop. We were gonna stop doing the Twitch. I totally forgot to turn that on. That's funny. We're discussing just going to only streaming YouTube to try and reduce the delay. Because we haven't been getting a ton of viewers on Twitch. And some of the new people that we have gotten in were disruptive. So if you don't, you come in one day and that's the time that we're streaming and we're not there, we're on YouTube, all right?
Twitch, Null Monkey Zero, SRRY, bro.
Yeah, sorry, bro. There was this one guy that came in that I ended up banning that he was man. That was probably the worst one we ever
Twitch,
had.
Null Monkey Zero, you know I am good, but I know how to use YouTube too, smiley face.
Good deal. Yep, I just don't want you to be confused or, don't want anybody to get left behind. I have to say, we got a lot of people watching for a Monday, so I appreciate it, guys. And we have made maybe one tick, and you know what? We really should have gotten out of that trade faster and reversed, but stuff happens. See, there's pushing.
Twitch, Null Monkey Zero, you feel like bonds topping daily, weekly?
I don't know, man. You know what? I have seen evidence of both sides today. Especially when we opened, there was some selling, and it kind of felt to me like the consensus is that U.S. earnings are being better than expected, and so they should sell treasuries. But then since then, there was a little bit of shenanigans and we've moved higher. And at first I thought that we were moving higher because the E-mini was selling, but now it kind of looks like that the treasuries just moved up on their own. And I suspect that it could be Brexit headlines. I'm wondering.
Twitch, Null Monkey Zero, below 129.16, I think will confirm bearish daily.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is that for now, they held the range and we just appear to be range bound. So, and even in this area, like we've come up here and we're holding it, but it's kind of quiet. This kind of looks to me like distribution chop, perhaps. I might get filled here long though. I don't feel like I completely understand what I'm doing here, but I am getting something that tells me that I should take a long, so I don't know. There's also the stock buybacks are declining. 158 in Q, huh?
Twitch, Nullmonkey 0 AAPL on new his cray cray.
Oh. Okay. I kind of messed my monitor up. Like I'm like way too far over. Maybe that's a little better. Seeing the pushing is a little, this one's a little different. I don't know if that means that they're going to pop out the top or not, though. But it seems to suggest that they do. Like he tried to push it out the top, didn't do anything, it came back really quickly, and then they're pushing it again on the way up. So somebody's trying to work it. It's like they're trying to work it, but the market orders just aren't coming in.
YouTube, Winstanzamom, Bank 7 Corp., NASDAQ, BSVN, the parent company of Oklahoma City-based Bank 7, announces that financial results for the third quarter of 2019 will be released before market open on Wednesday, October 30th.
Meh. I don't know. So on individual company earnings, I don't really pay too much attention to them until, unless I see it on my Twitter squawks, of course. But Twitter's been fairly light today too. They must all be stunned about Pierre taking his his account private. Well, one order went in at 26.5. Thank you, brave soul. two more. Certainly more buying than selling, though, at this spot so far. Okay. So that's not the way that we want that to happen. Well, that's interesting. The Japanese yen is kind of flipping all over the place, too. Flopping all over the place. Goes to offer again. Could be the E-mini. Well, E-mini is back to the open. Asset bubbles no longer work as a cure for growth, says an article by Zero Hedge. You're getting this thing again where they buy into it in the 5-year and they don't want to take it. They're too afraid of the iceberg.
Twitch, NullMonkey0. Later, bro, take care.
Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. And down, take 26. And now perhaps a touch of 25.5, yes. This looks like a false breakout, but let's see what it does. Okay, nobody touched 26.5, huh? Like that came back up, but the 5-year didn't. Come on. Okay. Better. Still not getting a ton of bid at 26.5 though. So I'd like to see that fix itself. E-minis turning down again. Might be part of what's going on. Yeah, let's see. I couldn't hold it. 1,000 on the downtick, though. That's not bad. Nope. Thought they were going to tick up there in the 5-year, and they didn't. Still pretty quiet. In fact, I'd say it's significantly more quiet now. I don't know if that means they're just not that interested in the downside. I can see the cumulative delta in the 5-year is mostly long. It's kind of like just little bit by little bit, higher, higher, higher. Well, they must be waiting for the speaker. Over in Europe, that must be why it's so quiet. Is that at the bottom of this hour? $3:30. And we're 7 hours behind. 8. Yeah, that would be 8:30. Oh. Oh, really? Apparently, that tweet saying I feel for the speaker, he hates these moments when the world watches him. Apparently, that's a sick burn that I don't understand. E-mini is still kind of looking like it's going to turn down, but Hard to say. I just look at it and I see that and I see it's turning down. You see they're not holding a strong bid at 26 again. Yeah. Hmm. A pretty big iceberg there at 30 and a quarter in the 5-year. And somebody put a ton on the ask at 26. So this is that same sort of thing that happened before. They're going to pull this. 26. Oh, he already pulled it. Heading into 30 and a quarter. Okay, they take 30 and a quarter in the 5-year. 30-year not coming along yet. 30-year also not coming along. Let's move that one down there. So the 5-year gives it up. And down. And down tick. But it holds. 500. See, they keep looking like that they're going to buy it there in the 5-year, and then they don't do it. So, decent amount absorbed on the bid at 25.5. But then when they ticked down, it was a pretty good down tick. Okay, and they were able to push it back, but not a lot. Stacking at 25.5. The 5-year still not hitting into 30 and a quarter super strong yet. Might get one side to break here. We'll see. Okay, so there the 5-year ticked up again, and they put a pretty okay bid behind it, but the 10-year not really. Well, okay, maybe now it's flipped. Okay. Okay. So this is turning really quickly. It turned very quickly. And the E-mini is selling. Some iceberging at 26.5 as well. $30.75 has kind of been a tough area on the other side, and they're not holding a strong bid there. You can see it's stacking on it and everything. And at that time, that 5-year was like, nope, nope. Well, that'll be really disappointing if 27 is as far as they get there in the 10-year. So the E-mini was looking like it was kind of starting to turn down, but now look, it's very quickly come back up, and they're hitting into this big order at 3,000. Well, they're eating through a decent amount of volume there.
YouTube, Michael XZ. These birds don't affect your sleep at all?
Oh no, the birds go to sleep long before we go to bed. Them birds, they go to bed early. As soon as it gets dark, they start squawking to be put to bed. And it comes back down almost as fast as it popped up. I really was hoping that I was going to get 26.5 there. And just scratch it. Like, I think that the original trade is long past, you know? Like, whatever I took that original signal for doesn't matter anymore. And I'm not 100% sure what it's going to do from here.
YouTube, Algo Lover, GM How's Life? Thinking
Good morning.
face.
It's okay. We messed around a little bit this morning, but there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity today. There was, I did get fooled on this one, the long down there. That's unfortunate to me. It's disappointing that that happened, but yeah, that was a good trick that they played. And I didn't take too much on it. So I think I came out -1 in the end. Yep. Oh, -2 in the end. I wish that had been
YouTube, IQ, ZB15T range.
Yeah. Well, 15 tick range in ZB is not too bad. I mean, look, they did have an 11 tick long there, right? But it's just been kind of slow. It kind of feels to me like there are some large people out there, but that they're waiting for something to happen. So. And the reads are a little fishy. Like, I caught this one. But then, was that the one that I caught? I don't know. Oh, maybe I ignored that one.
YouTube, Algo Lover, ZN is still being offered OK hand.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the thing that's kind of funny is that they kind of had this push up here. And then there was another push. I think they were trying to push it higher. Just doesn't look like they have what it takes to get people to buy. Like, how many times did we come up there to my price and then nobody stuck a strong bid there, you know? So they're offered for sure, but I don't think this move right here, Algo Lover, this bit right here where they're offering it down, like when you look at the cumulative delta, you know, it's a retracement of this other thing. So I think that what we're really in is we had a really good long, and now since it's just traders, they're slowly giving up their profits. Is what I think's happening. So yeah, that's why I really would have liked to have gotten out of that trade much earlier and scratched it or something. Oh, did I never get a favorable tick from that? Something that really bothers me is, and I think that we need to fix before I put too much more on the live account, is that when I lose, it loses. Like, I'm not getting any favorable ticks from those. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong about. What about that spot I'm doing wrong, but something's off there. Yeah, I might give a little bit possible long here. Might do. Question is, how do you know to trust that spot? The thing that frustrates me about this one, by the way, remember when I had that offer sitting out at 27.5, and then nothing happened, so then I took the 26.5, and then, yeah. So I actually had the short, but I didn't get filled. But would I have kept that? Nah, I think if I had caught the short, I think I would have taken 2. So.
YouTube, Algo Lover, what's the recent trend in your view? Thinking face.
Well, I think that's a good question. He's not asking me to, because he wants to know, like, my opinion. He's asking me to see if I'm in line with, if I'm seeing things correctly. So to me, I see okay, major trend reversal, and then here is a range. So we're stuck in a range, but you can see that there is a slight decline to it. So overall on the trend, it appears that the trend is short. So I took longs and shorts today. Actually, an equal number of them. But I missed the really good signal. There was a couple of signals down in here. I don't know what they happened to them. I had to reset my chart, so I can't recall what happened there. But overall, I just was trying to take, like my thinking today was I was trying to take really small ones. And
YouTube algo lover agreed. Selling into bounces, rallies, thumbs up.
Yeah. So I was only trying to take these little bits. Like this one right here, I think I bought 23. Yeah, that's right. I bought 23 and I sold 24 half. I mean, that one was perfect. Now this one right here was where I went short, and that was where I got fooled. I'd say that would normally be a good sell signal. So, that I got fooled. That's okay. But it's unfortunate that I lost 2 on it. I probably could have gotten out with only losing 1, because once it came back down and there was an iceberg there, I should have bid there at the iceberg, and then I probably would have gotten filled. And if I didn't get filled, then I would have been able to get out the next one, and it would have been the same as what happened. Anyways, right. Then this one, 26 half, I bought here, right? That one must have been. I think we have to consider that one a misread. It was a continuation of this. They're trying to push it back up again, but it was so that they could go short or whatever. It was like somebody's trying to push it up and they can't get anybody to buy, so they give up profits. So here they're doing it again. So they're doing it again. This could be a reversal higher again. We'd have to read the area to see a little bit better about what's happening, but I'd say that they've sold it a little, maybe quite a bit here. So that might be people will get out here, but if they break it, I don't know. There's certainly some potential if they could get down to that 23 and bust that ledge, But I think that they're just sitting there waiting for this Brexit stuff, so it's probably not even worth playing. It was probably, I took all of those on sim. I never really felt that it was really worth putting risk on, but I wanted to try this, trying to get these 2 ticks on these. I was saying, well, maybe I can just get 2.
YouTube algo lover agree again. If you are buying into the bounces, it should be quick as they are trapping those folks. So far, okay hand.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It like you're saying. Would it be accurate to say that when we moved up a lot faster, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're better off going long? It's actually a counter trend, people getting squeezed sort of behavior, and not necessarily indication that there's more interest in higher in this situation. If it was the opposite, if they were moving a lot faster on the down, and since the larger trend is down, then it would be really good sign for short. Anyways, it's time for me to go. So, fun stuff. Well, you know what? I wouldn't say it was a bad day, and I think we had fun. And look, it did come up. It did tick up at least 1 or 2. Well, you would have gotten 2. See, my thought is I think I can always get 2 off of this. And maybe my problem is just that I haven't been realizing that.
YouTube algo lover to beat a dead horse from last week down finger.
Yeah.
YouTube algo lover wed. 8:59 a.m. algo lover if ZN sellers sustain their offer below 130.085, then 129, 100 target still valid nerd face.
Yep. 129.10 down here. Oh, you know what? We should just mark that. Anyways,
YouTube algo lover HAGD. Thumbs up.
I do think at some point they're going to try and break this range, but I think that they're going to have to get the Brexit stuff out of the way first. So maybe there's some strong selling Tuesday or Wednesday. So until then, I will see you guys tomorrow and stay profitable, friends.